to get your ASS, B. You ain't nothing shit about it, bitch.
Blessing.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Watch out, pussy bitch.
Watch out, too bad.
Okay, bitch, you good? Yeah, pussy. Maya. What you doing?
Sound like a damn horse twitchy titties. Yo, watch out, bro. Watch out. Too close. Yeah, cause that's just around playing too many damn games. You been playing? Raise it back to me, man.
The number one question I get is how to play up your eyes. I'm going to show you the smoky eye. The smoky eye is layered. Do not get a dark black.
These people are cooked. Oh my goodness. Nothing says cooked like having your own Super Bowl halftime show. Okay? These people constantly talk about, oh, we want to unite, we got to come together. And they did essentially, the opposite of like taking your ball because you don't like whose team you got on, you're going to leave the court. Beta! But what makes this even better is that we have two trains of thought, right? We have the Fuentes train of thought, and then we have the Megyn Kelly train of thought. Now, Megyn Kelly represents, the old school boomer mindset, which is very much dying off. Like, literally. they're dying off. It just is what it is. But Megyn Kelly is outraged, right? And she's outraged that, hey, this was in Spanish, and he doesn't like ice, and we shouldn't have this, and yada, 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 and, we should only have, apple pie and maybe fried chicken. That's what America is.
To get up there and perform the whole show in Spanish is a middle finger to the rest of America. Who gives a damn that we have 40 million Spanish speakers in the United States? We have 310 million who don't speak a lick of Spanish.
He's out of line, but he's right.
This is supposed to be a unifying event for the country, not for the Latinos, not for one small group, but for the country. We don't need a black national anthem. We don't need a Spanish-speaking, non-English performer, and we don't need an ICE or America hater featured as our primetime entertainment. And the halftime show and everything around it needs to stay quintessentially American. Not Spanish, not Muslim, not anything other than good old-fashioned American apple pie. There should be a meatloaf, maybe some fried chicken, and an English-speaking performer. That's what the Super Bowl should be.
Ironic. It's just delicious, okay? It's just bon appetit at this point. Because she's trying to say, well, black people are American, but they're not, like, the maybe. Like, the whole fried chicken thing of possibly including that is like, it's hilarious how much they want to have American history without black American history. it's
Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. How about that question?
So this is what we're dealing with. These fools are upset that was in Spanish, okay? That's the end-all, be-all, and they're, of course, up with the Black National Anthem. You know how much they hate that, even though they don't know anything about the Black National Anthem, right? Lift every voice and sang to Abraham Lincoln on his birthday. There's so much history there, but like I said, white ignorance don't care about that.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
Then we juxtapose this with Fuentes. Now, Fuentes made a joke about how he loved it. He understood every word of it. He recognized some people. Yeah, right? That's his joke. But I want white people to understand, he's not joking.
I thought it was great. I understood every word. I don't know what everybody was complaining about. People said, I can't understand a word of the Super Bowl halftime show. This is ours. This is America. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I understood every word he said. I understood it perfectly. People were saying it's un-American. I'm like, this looks exactly like the neighborhood I grew up in. I was like, this is super relatable.
He's not joking. Y'all have allowed a wolf in sheep's clothing into the den to lead white ignorance. This is really emblematic of white, I will say white men, white people as a whole currently right now, because you guys are so lost, and it's reminiscent of many black Americans, right? You guys are so lost that you have a Mexican, a gay Mexican leading y'all. Do you not understand? Do you not understand how crazy that is? You guys have lost your identity so badly that you're just reaching for anything. Nevertheless, you have Fuentes, who's talking about how, he actually enjoyed the halftime show, with Bad Bunny. And he thought the TPUSA was, essentially cringe.
I liked it. And unironically, I liked it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was good pageantry. I like shows. You know that about me. I like shows. I like the dancing. I like the set. And I like music. And I'm open-minded about different kinds of music.
Why are you gay?
This thing at Turning Point, it fucking sucked. And I see some people trying to do this hot take where they're like, no, they were both bad. No, they really weren't. One was good and one sucked. One was actually a lot of fun and one was a drag. One was about the music and dancing and fun, and one was really weirdly political and just kind of goofy and didn't make any sense, and it was actually paid for by a political nonprofit.
And the funny part, right, to split the baby in half, is that Fuentes is right. He absolutely is right, in so to speak. And I think this is emblematic of the election. Because you have to understand the whole premise behind TPUSA was not the boomer crowd, okay? That was not the purpose. They may be the donors, right? But the whole purpose was to get the youth, was to get the upcoming vote, was to look 10 years into the future, okay? To secure, the money and the votes for the party today. That's what the whole point was. These fools do not understand that. Erica Kirk, and I could have done a whole bunch of videos on her, but Erica Kirk is fundamentally retarded. Damn. They, for some reason, are now, putting out a halftime show, and you would think that they would have someone like Nicki Minaj, right? You just had Nicki Minaj, practically sniff Trump's butt to get her little, immigration card. I'm like, okay, there's an olive branch right there. Why don't you use that and get her to perform at this show? But the funny part is they can't do that because they know the party is racist. Everybody loves black, but they don't love black. That's the funny part, okay?
Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. How about that question?
They love the face, they love the culture, they love the music, they love the bodies, but it's everything that comes with that. It's just, hey, we like all that, we just don't like you. I think Zack Snyder's like, hey, they like my ideas, they just don't like me. That is how it feels, Zack Snyder, to be black in America. That's how it feels, okay? Because they could have easily done that, and they could have gotten a younger crowd, but instead they got a whole bunch of old boomers who are singing about, I want to cut the grass, and Red, Riding Blue, and you had Kid Rock. Like, who knows who Kid Rock is? Genuinely. First off, those who do know, who was actually listening to Kid Rock's music, and who still listens to Kid Rock's music? This is a problem. That is how you go extinct. That is the way of the dinosaur, all right? Both of these arguments are extinct. Now, I agree with Megyn Kelly of Spanish. Listen, I didn't like it, not necessarily because it was in Spanish. I didn't watch it, okay? Because I didn't understand it, and that's fine. I ain't got a problem, checking out, a few seconds or so of a telenovela and seeing, the acting. Oh, hey, I like that. That's interesting to me. You caught my attention. But it was in Spanish, so you lost me there. Secondly, there was no beat to it, right? I didn't like the rhythm. I didn't like any of the music. So I was like, okay. And then lastly, what are we talking about? Hey, what's going on? They're on, telephone wires and stuff. So there was no eye candy for me. I didn't like the beat, even if I didn't understand what they were saying. Cause I could listen to some French rap, right? You ever listen to French rap or something? And you're like, okay, I can mess with this. But this, I was just like, this is garbage. This is just garbage all around. But I just find it interesting how you have these very polar opposite takes on this Super Bowl. And to me, honestly, I would say they're both wrong. Come on now, dog. Because Fuentes tries to argue that, oh, we shouldn't care about it. You know, you're watching a show with a bunch of N-words and, you know, who are trying to sell you beer. That's what you're doing. You should be above the Super Bowl, right? That's the whole concept. You should be above the Super Bowl.
Your ball brought to you by beer and sports gambling. Here's your Goy ball brought to you by gambling and Miller Lite. Well, it was acceptable last year because it was Kendrick Lamar. The Ebonics was in English.
And it's like, you do not understand your audience. That's the funny part. Fuentes doesn't understand the vast majority of white America because he's Mexican. So his culture, in a nutshell, the only commonality they may have is a disdain for black Americans. That may be it, or black people in general. But aside from that, you know, you're not going to connect with them because they do love the Super Bowl. They love the football. They love the basketball. They eat that ish up.
I drink it up!
I just find it absolutely hilarious because, in the midterms and the moving forward, TPOSA, I don't see it lasting. I don't see it lasting because this whole separate Super Bowl, halftime show was garbage. You can tell that the views were botted. The views were botted. Nobody's in the comment section. And it was just what audience, bro? What audience? They cook, bro. They are absolutely cooked. And they're even more cooked if they listen to a gay Mexican. So you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe Lucas. You know what? I watched the TPUSA event and I enjoyed it. All right. How about that? Or if you don't believe, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. Now, rub the Bengay on your elbows. You have a good night. Make sure your milk is warm at night. Change your diaper as well. Change your diaper. Don't want to go to sleep with a dirty diaper. But I'm just like, come on now. Stop it. Stop the games, bro. Both of these is just bad. This is just bad moving forward, bro. It's bad for the country. Truly. Anyways, if you happen to disagree, you know where to find me Thursday through Saturday. Disagreement day, number on screen. You call and we duke it out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think about this, whether you agree with Megyn Kelly, Fuentes, or you think they're both idiots. And subscribe and that fun stuff.
Hoarder house, ugly architecture, and even haunted properties will buy your house in cash.
But what about the .nos? Oh my goodness. So before I start the video, I just want to let you guys know that I have on good authority that Erica Kirk has bought one of these shirts. All right. I just want to put that out there. Allegedly, she has bought one of these shirts. Okay. It seems that the sentiment, resonated with her and she was like, hey, I want to help a brother out. Nevertheless, going into the story, what has happened is truly fascinating because I just want to contextualize this whole Pam Bondi scenario, and I want to contextualize it with this. Do you understand